So this is going to be our last notes in systems of equations, and the last one here is going to be systems of inequalities. And if you remember in chapter 5, we did a lot with inequalities, which is really anything that has any equation that has a symbol such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So we're going to kind of use what we learned about inequalities, and now we're going to apply it to systems of inequalities as well. So if you look at what the definition is here, and this is a system of inequality is a set of two or more inequalities with the same variables. Okay, and then what you do for the solution, I'll show you this in a minute. The solution, you figure out the set of ordered pairs that solves both inequalities, just like we did when we would take an inequality, we would turn it into a linear equation, and then we would graph it on a coordinate system, and then we would color in the side that is the answer. Okay, here we're going to do that with two equations, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Okay, so if we're the first way we would use these systems of inequalities, or figure out the answer for the possible answers if we have two inequalities, is we would convert to a linear equation just like we did with the other one. Then we graph it, and then we look for areas where both cross. Okay, so if we looked at these equations here, what we would do is, so this y is greater than 2x plus 1, we would make that equal to y is equal negative 2x plus 1. Then the next one, we would make this equal to y is less than, is equal, because we got the inequality, y is equal to x plus 3. And then we would graph these, and we're going to do that in just a minute, and see where they overlap, and then that would be our answer. So let's kind of try this. So here is one of our examples. Let's get this a little further away. So here's one of our examples. We're going to solve this by graphing. So we have 3x minus y is greater than or equal to 2. And then we have 3x minus y is less than negative 5. So we can first turn these into equations. So if we did that, we would have 3x minus y equals 2. We would also have 3x minus y is equal to negative 5. Okay? And then we're going to solve each one of these equations, figure out where the answer is, and see where they overlap. And that'll give us the possible answers for these systems of equations. So first we're going to have to take each one of these equations, and we'll do the bottom one first. We're going to turn it into a linear equation in slope-intercept form, because you remember that's kind of what we need. So here we have, we'll do this down here. Let me get a different piece of paper. Let me pause here. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here. I'll do the top one actually. 3x minus y equals 2. So then we're going to minus 3x from both sides. We're going to get negative y equals negative 3x plus 2. We're going to run a negative through it just to get rid of this negative y. And then that's going to give us y equals 3x minus 2. That's our first equation. Then we do the other one. Let's keep going. So then we have 3x minus y equals negative 5. And we will do this one. So again, we'll minus 3x from both sides. We'll have negative y. Let me just do this a minute. So we will do negative y equals negative 3x minus 5. Messing up that x. And then we'll run a negative 1 through the whole thing, so we get y, because we're going to times negative 1 by everything, 3x plus 5. So then that's our equations, right? And you're going to see here, if you were really paying attention, you'd see these two equations, and you'd see something. This slope and this slope. And they're the same. So if these equations have the same slope, we should see that they're parallel lines. And that means they don't cross. So let's check it out. So if we're going to graph the first one, what is it again? So y equals 3x minus 2, that's the first one. Let's put it back there. And so negative 2 is where it crosses the y. We'll put it right there. Then it has a slope of up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. We'll put it right there. And then we'll graph it. So there's our first line. And Then we would do the next one. Actually, let's do the answer for this one first. So if we go back to this one, 3x minus y equals 2, we want to plug in some answers. So it looks like we could fit the 0, 0 on this one, right? And we plug in 0 and 0 for both. Let's see if it's true. And if we go back to the original equation, this one right here, 3x minus y is greater than or equal to 2. So then we're going to plug that back in. Greater than or equal to 2. We have the 0, 0. Let's plug that in. So 0 for x gives us 0. 0 for y gives us 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 2. That's not true. Can't be true. So then let's try one on the other side. So we look at our graph here, and we did the 0, 0. It's not true. Let's do a 2, 0 for one of our answers. Okay. So let's plug that in again. So we got 3x minus y. Excuse my phone, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So then we plug in 2, 0, 2 for x, so 6 minus 0 for y is greater than or equal to 2. 6 is greater than or equal to 2. That's good. Let's just go 3, 0, and if we plug that in, we'll just do it over here. 3x minus y greater than or equal to 2. So then if we plug in the 3, it'll give us 9. For the x, plug in 3 right there. So 9 minus 0 greater than or equal to 2, that's true as well. So then we know by looking at this answer works, this answer works. So then we know on this side of the equation is where the answers are for that one. Then if we go to the next one, we figured out the equation for the next one. Figured that out to be y equals 3x plus 5, so we got to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our y-intercept. And then we got a 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 1 over, about there. Okay. And then we just need to figure out what side is this on. So this line just keeps going up, right? Okay. So then we do use a new piece of paper. So let's just do a 0, 0. We go back to the original 3x minus y is less than 5. And we go 0, 0. So we got 0 for x makes that 0. 0 for 0 minus 0 is less than 5. And that's true. Okay, 0 is less than, oh, it's negative 5. I'm sorry. Didn't see that. So 0 is not less than negative 5. Okay. So 0, 0 right here will not work. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try the other side. How about like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 0, 6. Let's try that one. So 0, 6. See if that one will work. That's 0 for x because it's 0 minus, that'll be 6, is less than 5. That's true. And then let's do one down here as well. 1, 2, 3, 0. Plug that into this equation. So 3 times x is 9 minus y would be 0 is less than negative 5. Well, that's negative 3, I'm sorry. So 3 would be negative 9, and negative 9 is less than negative 5. So that's so it's on this side. So here we graph it, right? And we can see that there is no overlap. Okay, so that's an example how you do that one. Okay, and that's not too hard of a thing. I think you can understand that. And let's look at one more, and then you can kind of see the overlap as well. Okay, so we have this one right here. These are already set up, so we don't have to worry about them. Y is greater than negative 2x plus 1. So this then becomes y equals negative 2x plus 1. And this one becomes y equals x plus 3. Okay, we look at the y-intercept plus 1. The slope is negative 2 down 2 over 1. I'm just going to do this really quick. There's that. And then let's do the where the answer is. So we have a 0, 0. So if we go back and plug that in, let's go y is greater than negative 2x plus 1. If we make them both 0, 0 is greater than 1. That's not true. Okay, so maybe it's on this side, right? Okay, so then we'll go to 1, 0. So if we plug that in, that'd be 0 is greater than negative 2 times 1, negative 2 plus 1. 0 is greater than negative 1. That's true. Let's go to 3's, or wait, yeah. Let's go to 2, 0. So we plug that one in. So 0 is greater than, this is a negative, yeah. So negative 2, right? So negative 2 times, we're on 2 here. So negative 4 plus 1 is 0 is greater than negative 3. That's it. It's on this side. What you got to do with these, you got to make sure they're all the way when you draw them. Okay, so we have that for the first one. And then we do y equals x plus 3. So that's going to be, 3 is going to be our intercept. It's 1, 2, 3. We color it in. Okay, and then we go slope of 1. So up 1 over 1. It's going to be kind of right here. And then we'll go right here. And then we got to figure out where our answers are. Are they on this side of it, on the bottom side, or the top side? So we're going to go with 0, 0 again. So we'll put it down here. So we have y less than or equal to x plus 3. We go 0, 0. So y is 0, and it's less than 0 plus 3. And that's going to be y is less than or equal to 3. That is true. So we go to the next one. Let's try negative 1, 0 for y, this point right here. So negative 1, 0. And we would then see, so negative, no, the other way, 0, negative 1. We would then see that this is, plug that in. So it'd be negative 1 is less than or equal to 0 plus 3. Negative 1 is less than or equal to 3. That's true as well. So this one ends up being, we'll do this one with yellow. Right here. And then we come to that line, right? And on the other side of that line is where it is equal to. They both overlap. So we probably want to do it with red. And this part here is where the answer is found. Just this section right here. Okay? And however, so this little part right here, where these two overlap, would be how you do those. Okay? So that's kind of an example, each of the examples graphing, and you saw a parallel one, and then we saw one that overlaps. You look for the overlapping area, and that's it. And you're ready, add these notebooks, or these notes to your notebook, and I'll see you in class.